Ooh, I have not fought one of these before.
Ooh.
But whatever, I'm just gonna kick its ass. Hello and welcome to Retro Game Connect. I'm Dan Mastriani.
And I'm Ian Butterfield.
And on today's episode, we've already taken you to the end of this series, so now we're looping back around to go to the beginning.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yes, there we go. So we're going to play Sega Aegis Phantasy Star on Nintendo Switch, which is, of course, a port of the original Phantasy Star for Master System.
Of course.
Yep. This was a very advanced RPG for the time, so it's actually pretty technically impressive. So let's go ahead.
What console did you say it was on?
The Sega Master System.
Well, then it wasn't advanced because it wasn't on the Game Boy Advanced.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start playing before you think of another bad joke.
Sega.
Yep. Yeah, so this intro, I guess, is actually like just a generic Sega Aegis thing. Not that I have more than one Sega Aegis game. It makes more.
Wasn't Herzog Zwei one?
Yes. So it makes more sense. I remember thinking like, this intro is kind of weird looking for Herzog Zwei, and well, it's because it's just all of the Sega Aegis games have intros like that. So quick off, we have of course the Aegis Mode, which makes things a bit easier in the original mode. We're going to go ahead and play Aegis Mode. So actually you have to go all the way to the beginning. So let me show the monster guide just quick, because you can't look at it without exiting out of the game. But this is a fun thing they added in for the Sega Aegis thing, so you can see all the monsters you fought. This is everything I've seen so far. You got some palette swaps and stuff in here, but gives you lots of useful information. But we're going to go ahead and do Aegis Mode, and all they really do in Aegis Mode is give you more experience and gold for each monster, which speeds up grinding tremendously. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game, because I do want to see the intro.
Oh, that did not fix that at all.
Were you still not getting
Oh no, I'm getting audio. It's just that your stream is laggy as hell.
fun? I don't know. Well, I'm on Wi-Fi today because I had to be in a different room.
And that might be it.
Do I have to? I guess I had to press button. Yeah,
Trying
so
to compensate with my prioritization engine, but
indeed, well, it's an RPG, and you're probably gonna be fine. Yeah, so we got here's basically getting us our first quest. So here's our protagonist. Your main character is a woman. So there you go. Here's our main character. We can go in houses and talk to people. This is our house. Why not?
in the middle of the street.
So immediately we're going to be able to see one of the neat features of this game is 3D dungeon. Check this action out.
Oh man, I had this screensaver.
But they're doing this on a Master System. Like apparently, so basically the whole premise of Phantasy Star was Sega saw how well Dragon Quest was selling, and we need an RPG. So they were casting about for a proposal for an RPG. Open this door here. And one of the designers, I think her name when flew out of my head here, is Chieko something. I forgot her. You got my notes up, right? What's your last name?
I spaced out for a minute. What am I looking for?
The person that came up with the story. But basically, she had a proposal ready to go.
artist.
Yeah, she was. Apparently, she even had like most of the
Chieko
dialogue.
Aoki.
Yeah, she had even had.
Might have butchered that pronunciation.
Yeah.
I'm only okay with some of those pronunciations.
Yeah, okay. So here we got that. We got the church where you can resurrect. Stopping here quick. The church, you can resurrect people that are dead, but it will also show you how much experience you need to get to the next level. Boom. Is that? We got the shops. Just stop it one quick just to show people the interface. Boom. This is where we would buy stuff. This is
Flash!
Yeah, the thing that lights up dungeons, gets you out of a dungeon. I forget what that does. I think it sends you back to the last church you visited. But actually, we do need to buy something before we walk out of town. So we got 50 meseta from that chest in the dungeon, which allows us to buy a shield.
A Lithsld?
A leather shield, yes. Yes, if we want to know about the leather shield, I can just press the start button, and here's one of the improvements to the Sega Aegis version, as we have all our items and equipment.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
burger? So you can get a burger?
You can. That's your health restorative.
Damn. Now.
Yeah. Weird thing about this game, it doesn't seem to have any items that will let you refill your MP. So if you run out of magic, you're out of luck until you can get to an inn.
Yike.
Yes, there are weapons items. So all this stuff is you have easy access to it. I'm guessing all this stuff would have been in the manual. Obviously, games of this vintage, they couldn't really cram into the ROM. There was actually supposed to be like a fourth planet. You can visit 3 planets in the course of the game. And there's a fourth one they had to cut because they didn't have enough space. But another cool thing about this game, actually we got to go into the menu anyway because I forgot to equip that leather shield. Super. So you can save anywhere, anytime.
All day, every day.
Yep, I'm not going to do it right now because I already have a save a little later in the game. But for people starting up this game, I would recommend saving right where I'm standing. Because
right there.
Yes, there is a bit of a hump to get over at the beginning of the game. So this, we got a bad spawn on this enemy. You can't beat this thing in level 1. It's probably going to kill us. This actually, the first time I tried to play this game, I think I had it on a collection or something. This kind of put me off because, I went out and, I died in my first enemy encounter. That's kind of terrible.
And yet you give me crap every time. I'm like, damn, this game is difficult. I would never sit and try to learn how to play it.
I did try several times, and it happened several times before I gave up. So let me say that. But it turns out that since you can save anywhere, which I didn't know when the first time I tried to play, you can actually make things a bit easier on yourself by saving immediately before that, and then you'll lose very little progress. And once you there's a weaker enemy that the swarm enemy. Yeah, let's talk to one of these guys. Does that design look at all familiar to you again?
I mean, that definitely looks Boba Fett inspired or Clone Trooper inspired. Which
I should not have talked to him because now it's going to send me out to the different stage. Oh, I messed it up. I actually need to go somewhere here. But yeah, once you there's another enemy that you can beat, and once you've fought a few of those guys and get some levels, and you can buy a new weapon, and it's much easier after that. This is where I'm going. So we're in a dungeon. I have a item that automatically lights all the dungeons, so I no longer have to buy flashers. But
there's a light.
One of the improvements is this.
Place.
I don't want to go in that door just yet. Let me see what's down this way. This map here, which will show me all kinds of things. Let's see what's down here. So I got this little auto map here. So that makes things a lot easier. Oh, well then. Guess there's nothing to do there yet. Oh, I got a green slime though. Let's I'm just gonna tackle these guys because I'm guessing I can probably curb stomp them.
In your face.
Yeah, I'm gonna wreck these guys. They are no match for me. I am quite probably over leveled, and I definitely have way better equipment than I should have. So basically, the Aegis mode makes grinding so much faster. So I basically, without even really trying, managed to get myself completely overpowered.
Oh, that's fun at least.
Which I'm going to say, honestly, is my preferred way to play RPGs. I love to be in a position where I can just steamroll everything.
I like a little bit of balance there.
Yeah.
I like to basically know that I'm going to win, but at the same time, like, I like the puzzle element of figuring out how I'm going to win.
I mean, to be fair, I could have stopped grinding
To be
at any
fair.
point. I just, I went ahead and just like kept grinding because I could. I was like, you know what? It's not going to take me much longer to get enough money for this. Sure, why not? What? Weird. Oh, you know what? I don't think I have any cola. Yeah, I didn't bother with cola because it doesn't get you a lot of HP back.
Oh, fun.
That's why that dude was mad at me. Let's oh, he doesn't have any. Yeah, that's right. I need to go to a food shop.
So apparently this game was made because Sega wanted to outdo Dragon Quest?
Yep. Basically, I mean, the whole ethos behind this game is like, we want to do something that you can't do on NES. So,
Is
like
that
the 3D dungeons.
The whole Sega does what Nintendo don't?
They weren't quite there yet, but interesting. So why am I getting am I supposed to use an item here? I don't think I have anything special. No. Interesting. No, I can't. These guys want cola, huh? Whatever. I'm gonna go out and fight some things.
Oh yeah.
So now we've gone to a new part of the world. I'm gonna go ahead and save because I can save whenever I want to, and I want to save right now. I can even save in the middle of a dungeon. Why not? So you do have to be careful. You don't mess yourself up doing that.
Yeah, I imagine you don't want to accidentally lock yourself into an area that screws you over.
Yes, that is possible. They do warn you about that in the manual for this. Oh, cool. I got a level for Noah, though. That's nice. Sure. You have to be careful. Sometimes chests contain traps. So, let's see what... that's not what I want to do. I wanted to look at Noah. He is level 14 now. So the spell he learned is Protect. So I can use that to, what's the word I'm looking for? I can use that to protect me from enemy spells. So that's nice. And I can go ahead and save that because I can save anytime I want. I can go in here, see if there's anything cool. Any caves or anything. Oh. Looks like there's a big old walled city. I can go down there and check that place out. I'm grossly overleveled, so nobody here is a threat. None of you. Let's say yes. Super. Okay. That robot let me go because I had the road pass. That's good to know. So we'll see. And we got the Catchy FM. I didn't even mention. So one of the things that this version of the game lets you do.
And it do be do.
Yeah. No, because I don't have any. Interesting. So I'm gonna need to. I might actually need to go back and buy some cola.
Uh-oh.
We'll explore this dungeon a little more. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some in the chest. I could open that. It's interesting that these guys want you to get stuff for them. Ian, perhaps. Oh, okay, cool. Yes. So earlier in the game, we found Odin. He had been petrified by Medusa, who he was looking to fight.
Oh.
So getting to Medusa and defeating her is a thing we want to do. Interesting. Thank you for telling me that, huge spider. So that's gonna be useful later. That is actually the Laconian stuff is, I believe, the best equipment you can get in the game.
Draconian always tends to be a very high level equipment.
No, Laconian with an L.
Oh.
Yes.
So what, like Bike Week?
Hold on. Oh, it abbreviates it. Yeah, no, there we go. See, Laconian armor.
So it's bikers, like
Sure.
Laconia Beach up in New Hampshire, where they do the Harley
I would not have
Bike
gotten
Week.
that reference. I'm not aware of that place. Interesting. So there's a guy on the other side of lava. This is an interesting dungeon. There's doesn't seem to be any enemies. Maybe at this door here. I was kind of hoping, we could fight some guys. Maybe I could take on a boss. That seemed like something that would be fun to show off. Or at least, we're showing off, like, I found this dungeon key earlier, and now I can open these doors in dungeons that I wouldn't have been able to open before.
Yeah.
It was actually, the dungeon key is actually in that initial dungeon that we went into to get that the money that we used to buy the shield. I don't. Tell me about him. Interesting.
Wow. Talk about quality of life updates. I would find it so annoying to have to go in and get the key every time you come up to a door.
Yeah, I really wish they did it automatically once I had it.
Just select the door. Would you like to use the key? Done. Like, that's why I actually have difficulty going back to any of the Gen 1 Pokemon games, because you can't just if you have a Pokemon with like HM Surf, you can't just walk up to the water and click on the water.
Why would you?
No, you must go in and surf. Same thing with all the HMs except for Fly, which you always have to access from the menu anyway.
Oh, boo.
It's a trap!
Yeah, it was a trap. There's a spell you can use to prevent that, but whatever, it's fine. I have tons of HP. I'm okay.
Tons?
Yeah, that was not a major problem for me. Oops, I selected the wrong thing. I've yet to find anything you actually have to search for. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to keep an eye on a fact, because I really don't want to crawl around dungeons hitting search repeatedly. Ah, well then. I guess I'm gonna need to do something else to get him to join me. Well, not join me, because I already have all the party members, but oh, that's faster. Oh, okay, there we go. You can fight some skeletons.
Burger, and I'm too broke to buy a burger today, so I'm just like,
These guys are a bit tougher, so I'm actually going to use my magic. So Alice has fire. Meow does not have any attack. I don't need to use that. I'm going to save his stuff. Odin has no magic, and Noah is pretty much only good for magic. So there we go. The spells are interesting because they all attack multiple times.
So I was actually just recently, I had Robot Chicken on in the break room at work.
Okay.
And it was a bit, I think it was like, they were making fun of Jason and the Argonauts, and they were fighting the skeletons. And they were like, how are you standing? And the skeleton's like, what are you talking about? It's magic. And he's like, what bones? He's like, oh, my bones are keeping me up. It's like, yes, but bones have ligaments and tendons that hold things together. You have none of these things. How are you standing? And he's like, what? Wait, what? And he's like, okay, for example, if you take your arm right here and he like hacks the arm off, he's like, that just fell off. And then the skeletons just start having existential breakdowns. They're like, how am I even talking? What is going on? And he's like, oh, wow, I see that. Yeah, you see that? With your no eyes? And he's like, ah! And they're like, oh my god, hold me. They're just like holding each other, having an existential crisis.
Nice. I'm gonna try going back to that spider room, because there's an exclamation point there. It makes me think maybe I missed something.
Or maybe Snake is there.
Yes. That could be that too. Yeah. That's weird. I wonder what that is. Oh well. There we go. I mean, these
Notice they specifically used DUGN for dungeon instead of DUNG.
Yeah, they had very little.
Well, yes. I'm just. They made sure not to put dung.
Yeah. Yes. I see what you're saying.
Made sure you didn't have the dung key.
Yeah. That's probably smart. Yeah, the guys out here before I run back to that town. I don't know. I was kind of hoping we could do something a little more exciting, but there's a whole other part of the continent over here, so we can loop around here, look for stuff. I'm guessing this is the lava that we cannot pass right now. We got a monster, giant scorpion. I'm pretty sure I fought those before. Nothing too tough.
Oh yeah, G-Scorpy.
Yep. Get some money, which I have really nothing to spend on. So I guess I'm gonna have to go back to that town and get some cola. I don't know if we actually want to do that because... yeah, actually, I forgot another thing that... I think I fought ghouls before. Might actually want to go a little harder on these guys. They got a lot of HP. I actually, one of the interviews I was reading, they were talking about they didn't have enough space to have the vomit land on the ground. So they it yo-yos instead.
Brody.
Yeah. One thing I don't like is that you can't select who you aim at. So sometimes it's kind of a character hits somebody you would rather they hadn't hit because didn't have much HP left.
Oh.
Decent amount of money. But yeah, those 3D dungeons were something, like, oh, well, we can't get the 3D dungeons working on NES. I mean, I feel like there was some stuff like that, but the way how smoothly it moves is like they were actually... At first, they were like, okay, well, how would we actually do this? What's north of here? I think it's just mountains. I already saw that. And, it's easy if you just animate every step, but then you have to have a whole lot of memory, which they did.
You just walked by an exclamation point.
Yeah, no, I talked to that guy. He doesn't do anything yet. Like so many of the decisions in this were basically like what are other RPGs doing, like the fact that they kind of mixed in the sci-fi in the setting. Other RPGs weren't doing that. The fact that you have a female main character, other RPGs weren't doing that. Like the 3D dungeons, other RPGs weren't doing that. So I'm gonna have to buy one at a time. So
and then they're just like, what should we have for the healing food items? Burgers and cola. Like, did they make a McDonald's run that day?
That's funny. That's actually a localization thing. In the Japanese version, they just made they had like made up items.
So the localizer team might have just gone to McDonald's that day.
Yeah, they came back from fast food and like, you know what?
I mean, at least it's not a ground chicken.
Well, come on, you don't like eating food you find on the ground? Barrels you smashed? Come on.
No.
All right,
Like,
let's see.
why are there fresh apples in the dungeons in Skyrim?
Somebody brought them in. I don't know.
Why are the torches lit?
And be imprisoned. Wow. Okay, so that was a prison that they just let us wander around. That's fun.
Could you spare a cup of cola?
Interesting. Yeah, so that's clearly another clue as to where we will find Medusa. I think were there people asking for cola in these houses? No, that's right. They were all empty because this place is abandoned. So now that we've got cola, we can talk to one more guy. We'll see if that gets us anywhere. And if not, then that'll be that. Yeah, let's wreck these. I did also, I got an optional weapon from Meow. Or I should say it's at the bottom of an optional dungeon. So I got some more damage from him. Nice. We got a level for Alice. Cool. You can go ahead and save, because I don't want to lose that level. I noticed she doesn't seem to be getting MP anymore. So, that's why I mostly use her as a physical attacker. But yeah, I got my helpful little map. This would be way more annoying in the original version where I would not have these things. I would have to map it myself with like some grid paper or something. Which is another reason why I'm having a much better time with this version of the game than I did with previous versions. Cool. All right, that was it, huh?
That's the game.
Yeah. So nothing else gonna happen. Ian, would you do me a favor? Maybe pull up a FAQ on Game Facts. Just to see if there's anything else we can do quick.
You might need to give me some context for where we are in the game. Like, what's the name of the dungeon?
We're in the prison. I do want to mention quick, though, I got distracted before mentioning this earlier. The music that we're getting to hear, we wouldn't normally be able to hear it on the US version of this game. This is the FM soundtrack. So in Japan, there was an add-on for the Master System that let you add FM sound to it. That was never released in the US, so even though some US games do still have the FM soundtracks on the cartridge, you normally can't hear them. But in the Sega Aegis version, you get to play the game with the FM soundtrack.
Triada Prison. Okay.
Yes.
When you find Dr. Leveno, he will shove you out. Enter again in the same results. Try for a third time, and you will head to the Gothic to build a spaceship.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's terrible.
Head back to the Gothic. Dr. Leveno is in the good house on the left. He tells you to fetch his assistant under the passageway to the spaceport.
Okay. Well, we'll do that and we'll call it quits, because that will be some actual progress. Man, I would never have thought to just keep going back in there.
I mean, I usually would have. Rule of 3, sometimes if you get like the game says screw yourself, see if it says that the third time.
Let's see. I think he was this door.
See, if you'd gone in a second time, you would have noticed the text changed.
Yeah. Okay. It's just so many of these old school games is like they have one thing to say ever.
Well, yeah.
Which is
but also
probably...
so many of these old school games, the problem solving will literally just be like, do the thing again.
I mean, I think it's probably like a space thing. You know, so many of these games, they just didn't have space to have guys changing dialogue all the time. So I have not fought one of these before. But whatever, I'm just going to kick its ass. Yeah, this thing is not really a danger to me. Oh no, it dodged the attack from the weakest member of my party. What you got for me? Not bad. Yeah. After doing a bunch of stuff, I found I had like a ton of money. I actually had enough for like, I want to say like the second best weaponry in the game, or not weaponry, armor. So I gave it to Odin because even with the armor, he has less defense than Alice does. They actually changed a bunch of the names, probably because they had only like 4 characters to work with, and this game was already packed pretty tight.
You will head to Gothic
to
build the spaceship. It's in the good house on the left.
Yep. Okay, so and then next off we would fetch his assistant, but we've been gone for a while, so we won't do that. So quick, the armor that I bought was the diamond armor. As you can see, it's ridiculously expensive. I that's more than I wanted to grind for, but since I was really close to it, I went ahead and bought one. So like I'm just wildly over equipped for this point in the game.
Nice.
Yeah, but there we go. Okay, there we go. I seem to have unfortunately landed on a not super exciting part of the game, but at least I had a save, so we didn't have to see getting over the hump in the beginning. That is definitely off-putting. I will say once you get a few levels and some additional gear, it becomes a lot smoother. So this is again something where I think it is worthwhile pushing through that, because it is, once you get past that, it's really you're fine and you're beating guys no problem. And it's actually made a lot faster by the Sega Aegis version, since they're giving you more experience per fight. So like I've only played the game for a couple hours and I'm massively over leveled. So really it's a lot easier now, and you can play with the FM sound. I mean, it's got the extra information, so you don't have to map the dungeons for yourself. I mean, you always have everybody's like health and MP on the right there, so they've done what they can to make it like a lot easier to experience nowadays. Like 30 years on.
Oh yeah, I mean, experience multiplication can be so nice. Like it, to bring up the old Pokemon games again, it's difficult to go back to those because I actually like having the EXP share on all my Pokemon, and that the rate that they gain XP has been boosted because I'm an adult who works 40 to 60 hours a week, and like I have to do dishes. I don't have time. To grind.
So actually, I almost forgot, they did actually also turn down the encounter rate, so you're not getting into fights every like 3 steps.
Oh, good.
So that's another thing the Aegis mode does. So it mostly it's good, though occasionally it's bad when you actually are trying to grind, because like maybe you want to buy something and you need some money, and there have been times where like, okay, somebody fight me, come on. Need some money and experience. and I'm not getting into any fights.
Just reminds me of that Whose Line Is It Anyway, where they did the suggestions from a hat. Or scenes from a hat, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And it was just the quickest way to start a fight. And, crap, I can't remember his name, the tall one.
Ryan... What's his last name?
Crap.
It's Ryan something, but continue the story.
Yeah.
This is not.
I'll
look up his name. Continue your story.
So he walks out on the stage, right? After the setup is quickest way to start a fight in a group of people. And he just walks out and he goes, "You guys want to start a fight?"
There you go. Sometimes simple is best. Let's see. Who's... Oh my god. Yes, I went weird. So anyhow, other things though I wanted to say about the of course Colin Mockery, whose name I can think of as top build,
Whose lines
is
in any top build actors?
how Ryan Stiles.
Ryan Stiles.
Here we go. But it's hard to appreciate nowadays, like how advanced this game was. I want to actually let me I have my note since I have my notes up right now. So like the release date in Japan for this game was December 20th of 87. So Dragon Quest was January 26th, 5/26/86 for the first Dragon Quest. So like May 27th of 1986. So you think about that, like a year and a half after the original Dragon Quest, they've got this much more impressive looking game. Even like Dragon Quest 2 would come out in January of 87. And it looked better than the first one, but it doesn't look anywhere near as good as this game.
So, because you keep saying advanced and my brain keeps going to the Game Boy Advance, just for Har-Hars, I Googled Phantasy Star Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, there is, I think
there is a Phantasy Star collection available for the Sega Saturn, PlayStation 2, and the GBA.
So, of those, probably, if you can play import PS2 games, that would be your best bet. Because that one has all 4 games. It's made by M2, so they all run well. It includes the English versions. So you can just set it to English, even if you don't speak Japanese. And it does also have the... I believe it does also have the feature of boosting your golden experience gain. But the other thing I want to mention is this game came out in Japan 2 days after Final Fantasy.
Oh, dear.
And really just like, Final Fantasy is not a bad game, but man, this game makes it look old.
But the question is, when are we getting the crossover? When are we getting Final Fantasy Star?
I don't know.
It's the question.
They both have competing MMOs, but
Final Fantasy Star Online 14 re-kajiggered.
Yeah, but it just did so many like impressive things graphically and oddly, like the dungeons are so smooth, and it actually has like a wireframe 3D engine that it's running to do that.
I couldn't really tell how smooth it was because I was getting lag from your end, but
it's really nice. It looks like, even playing this now, I looked and it was like, oh, that looks good. Apparently, so it's programmed by Yuji Naka, who's of course also the programmer behind Sonic the Hedgehog. And he's known for being like a really amazing programmer. Like basically his original engine, because I guess he'd kind of been tinkering with a 3D engine. And at one point he was thinking about using it for an action game. And like when they first put it into Phantasy Star, the animation was so fast it was giving people motion sickness. They actually had to slow it down.
Yikes.
Like they were flying through the dungeons and they're like, this is too fast. But they couldn't have done it in the traditional way, because to put in all the necessary frames of animation to make it look that smooth, they didn't have anywhere near that cartridge space. They couldn't even put the 4th planet they wanted in. They had to just cut it. Like there's like a picture at the end of the game of the full cast of like all 4 playable characters, and they just barely squeezed that in when like Yuji Naka managed to make some optimizations at the last minute. And it's like, hey, I freed up a few bytes if you want to put something in it. And so like this is kind of like one of the first big games that Ryoko Kodama worked on, who is well known as like being one of the most well known female developers at Sega from the earlier, and I guess she'd want to have that picture, and before, and they're like, well, we don't have any space, and like the end of the thing is like, yeah, Yuzunaka's like, I freed up a few bytes if you want to put something in there, so she managed to get her picture into the game, and just barely squeezed it in there.
The days of space limitations for games.
So you look at it, and there's stuff like, a lot of the stuff seems dated, and like the text is small, and they had to squeeze their names into four letters and all that stuff, and you're like, but when you consider like how they were just working to maximize the hardware at the time, is actually really impressive. So it can be hard to see that in like today's context. So I really want to like emphasize how impressive it was compared to the other stuff that was on the market at the time. And I think it's can be a little vague, but I mean, you have the internet nowadays, so you can just look up a fact if you get lost.
Yeah.
So with stuff like the automap, it's actually pretty easy to play. So I think it's still decent. Like, I didn't prepare that save for the show. I was just playing the game for fun. And I had a decent time just, sitting there grinding, fighting some enemies. Like, and I was, didn't have anything going on. Like, I was outdoors, like, for like a family gathering. And I was just, playing Phantasy Star on my Switch. Grinding up some levels, Yeah. Had a decent time with it. And you can save anywhere, even in the middle of a dungeon. So it's really easy to jump in and out of. Just like maybe, if you have some time, you can try to make some progress. You don't have some time, you can grind some money in levels and come back to it later. So it actually holds up better than some other games of that vintage. There's still some like, some stiffness to it, but I think it's still a decent time.
Yeah.
2 and 3, I don't know, but 1 and 4, I think there are ways you can play them now that make them pretty breezy. Like 4 is just so forward looking, and it's available in so many collections and stuff. It's easy to play, and this one is the Sega Aegis version. Since unfortunately we don't have, like, unless you manage to import that PS2 collection, you don't have similarly upgraded versions of the second and third game. So they're a bit harder to get into nowadays. Like, I have both of them on cartridge, and I played them a little, and I'm like, well, this is going to take a ton of grinding, and I don't know if I have time for that right now, and I never got around to actually, getting anywhere in them. Though I should mention, hey, if people want to see Phantasy Star 2 and 3, like I said, I do have the original cartridges for that, so once we're finally back to playing actual Genesis games on my actual Genesis, let us know, and we will play that if people want to see it. But anyhow, if you enjoyed me just wandering around a prison with no guards and they just let me in, why not? Make sure you give this episode a like, and we'll catch future episodes in which maybe they actually try to stop us from just wandering into what should be a restricted area. Perhaps you subscribe to our channel. I've been Dan Mastriani. You can catch me on Twitter at NewTechCola.
I'm Ian Butterfield. You can find me on Twitter at ENG Butterfield. You can find the show at Retro Game CNCT, Facebook.com/Retro Game Connect, and RetroGameConnect.tumblr.com. You can also find me doing live streams over on Twitch.tv/geek_lord_42. Don't actually know what I'll be up to at that point, but tune in and find out. But if you like the games we played, let us know in the comments. If there are any games you'd like us to play, again, let us know. If we can get our hands on them, we might just play them. Or we might just throw them in a guardless prison.
I mean, there was that robot, but he didn't seem to be trying too hard. Like, you got a road pass? Like, yeah, this is the thing that let me get on the Skyway.
Yeah.
And that led me to the prison too, apparently.
This is a very low bar of entry.
Yeah, dude, who's in charge?
The road pass.
Yeah. That's pretty permissive, considering that we're currently suffering under the rule of an evil dictator who we're trying to defeat. But anyhow, make sure you join us next time on Retro Game Connect.